Evil rarely announces itself with a roar. Instead, it seeps in through the cracks of our lives, unnoticed at first. It thrives on subtlety, disguising itself in ordinary frustrations, minor grievances, or the faint tug of despair that whispers in the quiet hours. Demons, whether literal or metaphorical, rarely appear as monstrous figures. They are the embodiment of cunning, often wearing the guise of something harmless or even appealing. Their presence is not marked by grand displays of terror, but by a quiet erosion of the soul's foundation, one compromise, one unguarded moment at a time. They prey upon our vulnerabilities, seeking out the weaknesses we hide even from ourselves. Fear, anger, envy, and despair become their fertile ground. They whisper lies into the depths of our minds, not in shouts that would alert us to their intentions, but in subtle tones that blend seamlessly with our own thoughts. "You're not enough," they murmur. "No one cares for you. It's hopeless." And because these words echo our insecurities, we often mistake them for truth. Evil thrives on distraction. It doesn't need to confront us directly. It only needs to divert our attention from what is good, true, and eternal. A preoccupation with material success, the endless pursuit of pleasure, or even the obsessive need to control every aspect of our lives, can become the avenues through which darkness takes root. These are not inherently evil pursuits, but when they consume our focus, they displace the divine and leave room for shadows to grow. Demons exploit our tendency to justify our actions. How easily we rationalize a cutting remark, a selfish decision, or a moment of cruelty. "It's not that bad," we tell ourselves. "Everyone does it." In these small justifications, the seeds of greater darkness are sown. They feed on our excuses, growing stronger each time we choose comfort over conviction, ease over integrity. Yet the nature of demons is not just external, it is also a reflection of the battles within us. The human heart is a battleground where light and darkness contend. The struggle against evil is not merely about resisting external temptations or casting out external forces. It is about confronting the shadows within ourselves, our pride, our greed, our selfishness. This is why the greatest victories against darkness often happen in the quiet moments of self-examination, repentance, and surrender. It is important to understand that demons thrive in isolation. They prefer to work in the hidden corners of our lives, where no one else sees. A secret sin, a grudge held in silence, a wound never spoken of, these are the places where they gain their foothold. Isolation is their ally, for in solitude our thoughts can spiral, our fears can grow, and their whispers can become deafening. Community, accountability, and the light of shared truth are among the greatest threats to their schemes. And yet, demons are ultimately cowards. They thrive on fear, but they cannot withstand courage. They grow in darkness, but cannot endure the light. Their power is parasitic, feeding on our weaknesses, but it is never absolute. To understand the nature of demons is to understand their limits. They can manipulate, deceive, and oppress, but they cannot create, nor can they withstand the authority of the divine. Their greatest weapon is our ignorance of their nature and their tactics. Once exposed, their influence begins to wane. Recognizing the subtlety of evil is the first step in guarding against it. It calls for vigilance. for an awareness of the ways in which our thoughts, choices, and actions can either open the door to darkness or shut it out. It is not a cause for despair, but a call to arms, for the light within us is infinitely greater than the shadows that seek to overcome it. Demons may be cunning, but they are no match for a soul that is awake, aware, and aligned with the divine truth that banishes all darkness. The greatest battle we will ever face is not against external enemies or forces, but within the walls of our own hearts and minds. It is here, in the quiet chambers of the soul, that light and darkness contend most fiercely. Unlike the dramatic conflicts of the physical world, the battle within is subtle, persistent, and deeply personal. It doesn't announce itself with clashing swords or blazing fires. Instead, it appears in our thoughts, emotions, and choices. Moments so seemingly small that we often overlook their profound significance. But be warned, it begins to manifest through your behavior, taking into account all interactions, and you quickly realize that there are many surrounding it. This internal struggle is universal, transcending time, culture, and circumstance. Each of us carries within us the capacity for both great good and profound evil. It is a tension that defines the human experience, for we are creatures of free will, constantly navigating between the pulls of selfishness and selflessness, fear and faith, despair and hope. The battle is not merely a philosophical idea, it is a daily reality that shapes the trajectory of our lives. The battlefield of the mind is where this conflict begins. Thoughts are seeds, and whether they grow into flourishing trees or choking weeds depends on which ones we nurture. A single negative thought, left unchecked, can spiral into patterns of bitterness, resentment, or fear. These patterns then shape our actions, often leading us down paths we never intended to walk. On the other hand, a single thought rooted in truth and love can spark a chain reaction of courage, kindness, and growth. The mind is both a weapon and a shield in this battle, and how we wield it determines whether we fall to darkness or rise to light. What makes the battle within so challenging is that it is ongoing. There is no final victory in this life, no moment where we can declare ourselves entirely free from struggle. Every day presents new choices, new opportunities to either grow stronger in light or slip further into shadow. Yet this continuous nature of the battle is not a cause for despair, but a reminder of our resilience and capacity for renewal. Each morning is a fresh chance to fight, to choose love over hate, faith over fear, and truth over deception. In this struggle, we are never truly alone. The divine presence, whether we name it as grace, love, or truth, stands with us, offering strength and guidance. This presence does not force our hand, but gently encourages us, reminding us that the light within us is far greater than any darkness we face. The battle within is not one we fight solely with our own strength, but one in which we are supported by something infinitely greater. Ultimately, the battle within shapes who we are. Every choice we make, every thought we entertain, and every emotion we manage contributes to the person we are becoming. It is a battle worth fighting, not just for ourselves, but for the world around us. For as we conquer the darkness within, we become bearers of light, capable of illuminating the lives of others and transforming the spaces we inhabit. Words possess a power far greater than we often realize. They are more than mere sounds or symbols. They are carriers of meaning, vessels of influence, and tools of creation. Spoken or written, words have the ability to shape reality, influence emotions, and alter the trajectory of lives. Throughout history, they have been used to inspire revolutions, build nations, and establish faiths. But just as words can uplift, they can also destroy. The power of the word is a double-edged sword, one that can either bring light into the world or plunge it into darkness, depending on how it is wielded. At their core, words are a reflection of the heart. What we say reveals what resides within us, our fears, hopes, and beliefs. A kind word springs from compassion, a cruel one from bitterness. This connection between our words and our inner state makes language not only a tool but a mirror. If we wish to speak words that heal and uplift, we must first cultivate a heart filled with love and truth. Conversely, if our words cause harm, it is a sign that we must address the shadows within ourselves. The power of words is not limited to personal interactions. They also shape our internal dialogue. The words we say to ourselves, those silent thoughts that echo in our minds, are among the most influential we will ever hear. A constant stream of self-criticism can erode confidence, while affirming and truthful words can build resilience and strength. When we choose to speak kindly to ourselves, we not only change our inner world, but also the way we engage with the world around us. The language we use internally becomes the foundation for the life we create externally. Words have the unique ability to create connection. They bridge the gap between individuals, allowing us to share ideas, express emotions, and foster understanding. A word of encouragement can lift someone from despair. A sincere apology can mend a broken relationship. Words spoken in love have the power to dissolve barriers, heal wounds, and build bonds that withstand the test of time. Yet just as words can unite, they can also divide. Harsh words can wound deeply, sometimes leaving scars that linger far longer than physical injuries. This duality of words reminds us of the responsibility we carry when we speak. In the spiritual realm, the power of the word takes on even greater significance. Many traditions hold that creation itself began with a word, a divine utterance that brought order from chaos, light from darkness. Sacred texts, hymns, and prayers are all centered on the belief that words can invoke the divine, dispel evil, and transform lives. In moments of doubt or despair, reciting words of faith can reignite hope and courage, reminding us of truths greater than our immediate struggles. The spoken word becomes a weapon against darkness, not because of its volume or eloquence, but because of the truth it carries. But words are not powerful merely because they are spoken. They are powerful because they are heard. A word must find a receptive heart to fulfill its purpose. The act of listening is just as crucial as the act of speaking. When we truly listen to others, to ourselves, and to the divine, we create space for transformation. Listening allows words to take root, to grow into actions, and to bring about change. Without listening, even the most profound words remain inert, like seeds scattered on barren ground. To wield the power of the word responsibly is to be mindful of its potential. It is to pause before speaking, to consider whether our words will build up or tear down. It is to choose truth over convenience, kindness over cruelty, and courage over silence in the face of wrong. The words we choose define us, not just in the eyes of others, but in the shaping of our own character. Ultimately, the power of the word lies in its ability to create. Each word we speak is an act of creation, whether we are building hope, love, and understanding, or fostering doubt, fear, and division. The choice is ours, and it is a choice we make countless times each day. By recognizing the power of our words and choosing to use them wisely, we become participants in the ongoing creation of a world shaped by truth, love, and light. Faith is more than a belief. It is a fortress, a shield, and a weapon in the unseen battles of life. It is the quiet strength that sustains us in storms, the invisible armor that protects us when doubt and fear seek to overwhelm. The armor of faith is not made of steel or leather, but of something far more enduring. Trust in what is unseen, assurance in what is eternal, and the courage to stand firm when the ground beneath us shakes. This armor is both a gift and a responsibility, requiring us to wear it daily and actively engage in its maintenance. Faith as armor does not suggest that life will be without struggles. On the contrary, it acknowledges that battles are inevitable. Challenges, hardships, and even moments of despair will come, but the armor of faith prepares us to face them with resilience. It does not prevent the arrows of life's difficulties from being loosed, but ensures they do not pierce us deeply. Faith allows us to endure, not because the fight is easy, but because we are equipped to withstand it. The helmet of faith guards our minds. Our thoughts are the first battleground where fear and doubt seek to take hold. They whisper questions meant to shake our confidence. What if you fail? What if you're alone? What if this is all meaningless? The helmet of faith silences these whispers by reminding us of truths that are greater than our fears. It helps us to see beyond our immediate circumstances, anchoring us in the certainty that we are not defined by our struggles, but by the love and purpose that underpin our existence. Faith is also a shield. It does not eliminate the presence of attacks, but renders them ineffective. The flaming arrows of discouragement, temptation, and despair are part of the human experience, but the shield of faith allows us to deflect them. It is held up by choice, an active decision to trust in what is good, even when evidence seems scarce. This shield grows stronger with use. The more we rely on faith to overcome adversity, the more unshakable it becomes. The armor of faith also includes a sword, the only offensive weapon in this metaphorical armory. This sword is not wielded with aggression, but with truth. Faith equips us to confront lies, not with hostility, but with clarity and conviction. When faced with the distortions that tell us we are unworthy or alone, faith cuts through these falsehoods, revealing the light that has always been present. The sword of faith is sharpest when it is grounded in love, for love is the ultimate truth that disarms fear and hatred. Wearing the armor of faith requires vigilance. Armor, no matter how strong, is ineffective if left unused. Each day we must put it on intentionally, choosing to approach life with trust rather than fear. This is not a passive act, but a deliberate commitment to align our thoughts, actions, and words with the principles of faith. It means seeking strength not in ourselves alone, but in the divine source that sustains us. The armor of faith also connects us to others. While it is deeply personal, it is not solitary. Faith thrives in community, where we can stand shoulder to shoulder with others who share the same struggles and hopes. In this fellowship we find encouragement and support, a reminder that we are not alone in the battle. The collective strength of shared faith is a powerful force, one that can withstand even the fiercest storms. Ultimately, the armor of faith is not about avoiding hardship, but about transforming it. It allows us to face challenges with a sense of purpose, knowing that every struggle is an opportunity to grow stronger, deeper, and closer to the light. Faith does not promise an easy path, but it does promise a victorious one, a journey where every trial becomes a testament to the enduring power of trust, hope, and love. This armor, though invisible, is unbreakable, protecting not just our bodies, but the very essence of who we are. Fear is one of the most primal and powerful emotions we experience, capable of shaping our actions and perceptions in profound ways. At first glance, fear appears solely as a negative force, paralyzing, overwhelming, and destructive. It whispers doubts, feeds insecurities, and can make even the strongest among us feel small and powerless. However, fear is not inherently evil. Like any powerful force, it is a tool, one that can either hinder or help us, depending on how we understand and respond to it. Fear has the potential to enslave, but it also has the capacity to sharpen, awaken, and transform. In its most basic form, fear is a survival mechanism. It alerts us to danger, prompting us to act. Without it, we would wander into harm's way without hesitation or caution. Fear warns us when something is wrong, nudging us towards safety and self-preservation. This practical aspect of fear is not to be dismissed. It has preserved life since the beginning of humanity. However, fear becomes harmful when it oversteps its boundaries, no longer a servant but a master, dictating our every move and stifling our growth. The true danger of fear lies in its power to deceive. It often magnifies threats, making them seem larger and more insurmountable than they truly are. Fear is skilled at creating illusions, casting shadows where none exist. It tells us we are incapable, isolated, or doomed, distorting our perception of reality. In this way, fear can trap us, keeping us from stepping into opportunities, taking risks, or confronting challenges. Left unchecked, it becomes a cage, locking us away from the life we are meant to live. Yet fear also holds immense potential as a teacher. It reveals what matters most to us. The things we fear losing, our loved ones, our purpose, our integrity, are often the very things we value deeply. Fear, when examined, can act as a compass, pointing us toward what is worth protecting, cherishing, and pursuing. It asks us to pause, reflect, and consider what truly matters, making us more intentional in our choices. Fear can also be a catalyst for courage. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to move forward in spite of it. Without fear, there would be no need for bravery. Every act of courage, every moment of resilience arises in the face of fear. When we confront our fears instead of fleeing from them, we grow stronger, more capable, and more confident. Each victory over fear builds momentum, reinforcing our ability to face challenges with greater resolve. In spiritual and moral terms, fear can serve as a reminder of our limits and dependencies. It humbles us, showing us that we are not in control of everything, that we cannot face life's uncertainties alone. In this humility, fear can drive us toward trust and faith, compelling us to lean on a strength greater than our own. This type of fear is not paralyzing but reverent, a recognition of the vastness of life and the divine presence that sustains it. Fear, when used as a tool, also sharpens our focus. It brings clarity to moments of decision, forcing us to weigh our options and choose what is right over what is easy. Fear of failure, for instance, can push us to prepare more thoroughly, work harder, or refine our skills. Fear of harm can motivate us to create safeguards and act with wisdom. These fears, though uncomfortable, can lead to growth and progress when we channel them effectively. However, fear must always be kept in check, lest it spiral into control. The key to harnessing fear as a tool is perspective. When we view fear as an enemy to be avoided, it gains power over us. But when we see it as a guide, an emotion to be understood and directed, it loses its grip. Fear is not meant to be a permanent state, but a temporary alert, a signal to respond wisely rather than react impulsively. Ultimately, fear's greatest gift is its ability to lead us toward transformation. It forces us to confront our limitations, test our boundaries, and discover strengths we didn't know we possessed. It strips away illusions of control, reminding us of what truly matters. In this way, fear, when faced with courage and clarity, becomes not an obstacle, but a bridge. One that leads us from who we are to who we are meant to be. Prayer is far more than a quiet whisper or a contemplative moment. It is a battle cry, a rallying call that resonates in both the seen and unseen realms. When faced with challenges, prayer becomes an act of defiance against despair, a declaration that hope and faith are not extinguished. It is a powerful response to the struggles of life, an acknowledgement that while we may feel small and overwhelmed, we are never truly powerless. In prayer, we step into a position of strength, calling upon a force greater than ourselves to intervene, sustain, and guide. To view prayer as a battle cry is to understand its dynamic nature. It is not passive or resigned. It does not simply accept circumstances as they are, but boldly seeks transformation. Prayer is an act of engagement, a way of entering the fray rather than retreating from it. When we pray, we acknowledge that the battles we face, whether physical, emotional, or spiritual, are not ours to fight alone. We align ourselves with divine power, drawing strength and clarity that we could not muster on our own. In its essence, prayer is a declaration of trust. It is a cry of dependence, not in weakness, but in recognition of a higher authority and greater strength. It acknowledges the limits of human ability while embracing the boundless possibilities of divine intervention. This act of surrender is not one of defeat, but of strategic alignment. It is the choice to place the outcome of the battle in the hands of the one who sees beyond our immediate circumstances, who knows the path to victory, even when we cannot discern it. We begin to see the world in greater clarity when we learn to see the world in perspective. Prayer as a battle cry also shifts our focus. In the heat of life's struggles, it is easy to become consumed by the obstacles in front of us. Fear, doubt, and frustration can cloud our vision, making us feel as though we are alone in the fight. But prayer lifts our eyes beyond the immediate, reminding us of the presence and promises of the divine. It reorients our perspective, allowing us to see challenges not as insurmountable walls, but as opportunities for growth and faith. The words we speak in prayer carry power, not because of their eloquence, but because of the faith behind them. A simple, heartfelt cry, "Help me, guide me, strengthen me," can be more effective than the most carefully crafted phrases. Prayer is not about impressing. It is about connecting. It is an honest dialogue, a pouring out of the heart. The authenticity of prayer is its strength, for it is in vulnerability that we find true power. Prayer is also a call to action. It is not a substitute for effort, but a complement to it. While prayer invites divine intervention, it also stirs us to move, to act in alignment with the answers we seek. It emboldens us to take steps of faith, knowing that we are not walking alone. Prayer does not absolve us of responsibility, but equips us to face it with courage and wisdom. In moments of despair, prayer becomes a declaration of hope. It shouts into the darkness that light is still present. It asserts that no situation is beyond redemption, no struggle beyond resolution. This is why prayer is so often seen as an act of resistance. It refuses to give in to the voices of doubt and defeat. It stands firm, declaring that even in the bleakest moments, there is a power at work that is greater than the forces arrayed against us. When we pray, we engage not only in our own battles but in those of others. Prayer connects us, forging bonds across distance and circumstance. It allows us to stand with those who are weary, to intercede on behalf of those who cannot pray for themselves. This collective power of prayer is a formidable force, a reminder that we are never alone in the fight. Ultimately, prayer as a battle cry is a testament to the enduring power of faith. It is a reminder that we are not defined by our struggles, but by the strength we draw upon to face them. In every whispered plea, every shouted cry, every silent petition, we affirm that we are part of something greater, something that transforms weakness into strength, fear into courage, and uncertainty into unwavering hope. Thanks for watching.